Hey guys, what's going on? It's your favorite midnight overeating heating appliance microwave. I'm always there for you at midnight whenever you're sad and lonely and you really need some ramen noodles. Or I'm there for you for these shitty YouTube videos. Anyways, I know it's been a while since I've done these type of videos, but welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It, where I bring you tips, guides, or problems within the game that I am currently playing. I said in my last video, if this comment gets over 500 likes, then I would do one of these today, so here it is. And today's video is going to be a guide on my new favorite operator, Echo. That was shitty. I should have cut that out. Let's cut that out. No, let's leave it in. No, let's cut it out. No, fuck it. We'll roll with it. We'll do it live. Echo is a 3 armor operator, meaning he's super slow and everybody can hear him when he walks around. His primaries consist of a shotgun that basically was given to him to open up holes in the walls, since its damage is pretty garbage. It does 32 damage and generally takes 2 to 3 shots to kill somebody with. He also has the MP5 SD, which is basically a mandatory silence MP5. Its damage was increased at medium range, but it doesn't compare to the normal MP5s that Rook and Doc have. His sidearms include a pistol, which you will never ever use. I never want to see that in your hands, guys. I swear to God, if you're using that, then you've never watched this video or seen a pro player play Echo. You should always be using the sexy Bearing 9, specifically with the Valentine skin, because that is beautiful. Now, which primaries to choose and why? Well, it goes deeper than just picking one and rolling with it, because there's this thing called meta. Basically, meta is a simple term used to define what is optimal within any game. It's basically pulled from what the pro players use because they devote way more hours into figuring out the best strategy and how to get the big W. For those of you who don't care about the pro scene or players, I would encourage you to watch a stream or video from the pro league. Now, most of the viewers get hung up on the actual play and the aiming of the players. Instead of doing this, I would recommend you watching their reinforcement, barbed wire, and holding positions, because more often than not, they have the optimal routes covered and generally force the attacking team into 1 or 2 funnels. You can then incorporate this into your playstyle and you will gradually see improvements in your play, because Siege isn't all about aiming. I can't stress that enough. It's mostly about information. I would go as far to say 30% of my wins via the defense side is from holding the attacking team down and forcing the 3-minute clock to tick away, which is something Echo is rather good at. I can break down the meta even further, but let's get back to my talking point. Now, before you even pick Echo, you have to look at the lineup and see if he's even an option. This all happens before you pick the MP5 SD or Supernova. Now, reason being, Smoke basically does what Echo does, but in a different way. Currently, Smoke is the #1 pick defense operator in the Pro League, and for a very good reason. He has the shotgun that's needed to open up vital holes in the walls and has the lethal SMG-11. Not only does he have the best sidearm in the game, he also has barbed wire and toxic babes to hold off a push from the attacking team. But wait, Microwave, I thought this was an Echo guide instead of a Smoke guide. What the fuck are you going on about? Are you saying Smoke is better than Echo? Well, generally speaking, yeah, kind of. Echo has a shotgun that is better for opening up holes, but does less damage to players. Echo also has a really good sidearm. Sure, it doesn't shoot as fast, but it has more rounds, so it's at least a bit more forgiving when you hold down the trigger. Echo is almost a direct copy of Smoke in a strategic sense, meaning they both have the same type of weapons, but with varying degrees, and both can hold off a push. Basically, a push is when the attackers drop down a wall or a door or something like that, and they try to push the objective and they get really close to planting it. I'd also like to mention that this guide is all about bomb, not secure area or hostage, because most of the good players try to avoid those. Anyways, the pros generally go for Smoke because the damage provided from his toxic babes. On the other hand, Echo is a bit more gimmicky in the sense that he can stop a plant with his yokai drone. But there is untapped potential that Echo has, which has yet to be capitalized from the pro scene, which of course I'll get into, aka the aggressive Echo. Another reason the pros choose Smoke over Echo is because if they lose the yokai drone, then Echo is just a shooter without a gadget. If Echo dies but his drone is alive, then he can still provide vital information depending on where he left his yokai. On the other hand, if Smoke dies, then he offers his team nothing. So the two operators offer different types of advantages. Anyways, let's say you have a Smoke and a Rook but don't have a Doc. Then you can safely choose the MP5 SD and play traditionally. If you don't have a Smoke, then chances are you won't have anybody opening up the small holes in the floors or walls. I mean, sure, you do have impact grenades, but most of the time you need other stuff to hold down an objective. Let's take Karaoke and Skyscraper for example. It's generally a good idea if you open up the bottom of the wall so you can see the feet under it while on the other side of the objective. The attackers cannot see you because they'll be looking through a window, so you could pre-aim their heads when they step in so you don't reveal yourself. There are a ton of little things like this that only a shotgun can provide. Also, generally speaking, most high-ranked players will never bring a shotgun because that's supposed to be Smoke's job. So again, if you have a Smoke on your team, then grab the MP5 SD or choose a different operator. And again, choose the Bearing 9 and get used to the sights, because 9 times out of 10 the shotgun is the better choice, since it offers more utility for the team, and Siege is just that, a team game. Now that weapons and comparisons to other operators have been made, let's talk about the 3 general types of ways that Echo is played in the higher ranks. What I mean by higher ranks, I mean like Plat 2 to Diamond. Number 1, traditional. Number 2, positional, and finally number 3, aggressive. These 3 types are all situational and depend on your team composition and playstyle. Let's talk about the first one, traditional. This is your basic run-of-the-mill, tight angle holding, MP5 SD wielding Echo. You basically put your yokai down in a spot near the attacking team's point of entry and watch cams, all the while making sure you hold the objective down with the ACOG SMG. It's pretty basic, meaning that you'll try to give callouts like a normal anchor operator and spring into action when they blow down a vital wall or door in your area. Also, an anchor is a position in which an operator holds down an objective and helps the team via cam callouts, in case you were wondering what an anchor really means. So the traditional Echo can be boring and generally won't see any type of engagements until the last minute of the round. It's basically like how you would play Rook. It is pretty boring, but it works, and that's what matters, right? His yokai drone can of course stop the plant, which will give you the biggest boner ever.
Remember folks, efficiency is the level. 5 seconds to go.
I got it.
Nice.
got it.
Good job, dude.
Time limiting
Echo
fire.
boy! I love it so much.
Fucking Echo.
But it isn't normally used in that sense. You can slow down the attacking team tremendously by hitting one with the blast and then relocating the drone to a safe location. If you're facing on Montaigne, you could drop his shield down real quick and then peek him to get that super quick headshot, which basically will win you that round. But let's say you don't want to do that because you want to be slightly more aggressive. Well then, the positional Echo might be for you. Basically, this Echo holds down a vital area for the team and uses his drone to get a good read on the attacking team's position so he could be prepared for it. A basic location would be, let's say, cockpit or kitchen in plane. You could place Bobwa at both doors and then use the drone to look under the door to see if they are pushing you from the outside, all while you wait patiently for them to either advance to eliminate you or avoid you at all costs. The same works for armory and meeting room in Oregon. Your job is to slow down the attackers and then get the fuck out of there when things get too dicey. If they rush you with 2 to 3 attackers, then you can retreat, but at least you try to do something instead of wait at the bomb site for that final minute. This role is a little more difficult, but can be very rewarding if you stop a push or get a good trade against an unsuspecting Hibana or Thermite. Your goal is not to roam, but to find the enemy with your drone and wait for them to push you. Once they step into the barbed wire or they try to peek your location, you could blast them with the sonic thing and then peek them with a higher chance of winning that engagement because their vision will be reduced. The final type of playstyle, which is my favorite, is the aggressive Echo. Now I'm sure we're gonna see an aggressive Echo video by Serenity now, guys. Be prepared for that. Now this doesn't mean roaming, because in the upper ranks sound is everything, and trust me when I say this, the good players will hear you a mile away. Instead of you getting the kill, the objective is to sit tight near the bomb site and have your yokai drone with a roamer such as Jaeger or Bandit. This is by far one of the most rewarding things because it forces you to learn every single room in every map. What good is it if you're saying an attacker is inside that one room with the wall, the big wall and the big window? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Take your shit and go play Jaeger. This style helps your team out tremendously and can create a small haven for your roamers. If you know where an attacker is, you can communicate with your buddies and let them get the kill, because remember, it's a team game. You don't have to just run at the attackers and try to get the kill. And if you don't have a mic, then you should not even be playing Echo, because that's just wasted potential. Again, go play Jaeger. Anyways, run around with your roamer and let them know if you see anybody, because you could take quick access routes via drone holes. Alternatively, you could protect them by blasting an approaching attacker with a sonic wave, which increases the likelihood of that roamer winning the engagement. This is how he should be played, and I would encourage you to try all 3 styles because Echo can be very, very fun. So for my final thoughts, I wanted to give you guys some quick tips for Echo. Starting off with number 1, do not place your drone down until the prep phase has ended, because sometimes your team will mistake your yokai drone for a regular drone because they're most likely incompetent, especially if you're solo queuing. Oh my god. Thank you to everybody who shot my drone right in the middle of a prep phase for absolutely no reason, only to to say LOL noob in chat. Number 2, don't be afraid to use your Sonic Blast if you know it will slow down the push, specifically against Blackbeard or Montaigne. Number 3, you are the only person who can see your drone unless somebody is directly spectating you, so be sure to leave it in a good spot near the last minute of the round in case you die. And number 4, use a mic or go back to the gold ranks, bro. 5, learn the maps to better help your team because you will have a harder time giving callouts while you wait for the attacking team to push the objective at the last 15 seconds, because for some reason most people will wait for the last 15 seconds to do anything. I don't know why, but it happens all the damn time. Number 6, use the shotgun to open up holes in the walls and learn how to master the hollow with the bearing 9. And if I see an Echo player use the pistol, I swear to God I'm gonna TK you right off the spot. 7, don't be afraid to drop your drone in the middle of a fight and relocate it to save it, because without the yokai drone you're just another operator. Also, don't be afraid to drop the yokai and assist a roamer who might be pinned down in a room. If you can save a Jaeger main's life while losing your drone, it's a very good trade, even though they don't ever have mics. I don't know why, but Jaeger mains never have mics. And number 8, if the objective gets too hot and you're being pushed out, don't be afraid to drop down a hatch and abandon the objective. A dead Echo is a useless Echo. You could try to stop the diffuser plant or slow them down with your yokai drone while your team pushes back, because you're the only one in the objective since everybody thinks they're the best roamers. Again, in the higher ranks, that normally doesn't happen. I'm just making a joke. 9, if you have 5 defenders left and 1 attacker, be sure to blast Jaeger in the face with a yokai so he's forced to wait. There's nothing more satisfying than listening to a Jaeger main complain about not getting the last kill. It is so amazing. Number 10, generally speaking, barbed wire is way better than a shield. Again, watch the pros and see where they plant them so that way you get a better idea of how to handle the objective. Oh, here's a big one. Number 11, don't be afraid to switch gears from a traditional Echo to an aggressive Echo in the middle of a round. Things change very, very quickly, so don't be afraid to do that. Don't be like, I just gotta stay by here in this door. Microwave told me to stay by this door and watch and try to give you guys cam callouts. I can't help you. No, get out there and shoot them with your yokai drone. Save your teammate's life so that way that Jaeger main without a mic can get inside the objective, so that way everybody can hold the objective the last 15 seconds, because again, they always push at the last 15 seconds. Can you guys see a trend here? And finally, number 12, have fun. I can't stress this enough. Echo is one of the most unique operators in the game. He can win a game without ever shooting. It's incredible. It like blows your mind whenever you get that sweet yokai stop plant. Anyways, I absolutely love him, and I hope these different types of playstyles will be incorporated into your gameplay. If you guys like this, I would appreciate a thumbs up. I rarely ask for them, but with this video, I would really appreciate it. If this gets more likes than my normal gameplay videos, then I'll probably revive the whole Let's Talk About a schedule, you know, every Friday for you guys, the viewers, because I do love you and I want to entertain you, because that's what this shitty microwave does. He gives you guys entertainment. I don't normally spit out an outro, but if you guys want more, then subscribe. Or you can follow me on Twitter, where you'll hear me bitch about how bad Ubisoft patches really are. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.